Good afternoon, everybody. Right, morning. So yes, after all of those wonderful presentations, my now feels a little solipsistic and a bit kind of selfish because I write novels, and that is my research, and why specifically turn this into that. So OpenARC has very kindly, over the last few years, in fact, been awarded it 3 times now. And the very first time, they sent me to Iceland, to Reykjavik, Háskóli Íslands, to learn modern Icelandic and get access to the archives there. And what you're looking at here is Heimskringla, the Circle of the World. And this is the only surviving leaf from a manuscript from the 13th century. And what I'm doing while I'm there is I'm translating, badly, these Old Norse Icelandic manuscripts that tell the history, like moments of import historiographical accounts. I'm not interested in the mythology, I'm more interested in, so this particular manuscript is about the history of the kings of Norway and how that impacts Iceland. And this novel, which came out in 2024, is an adaptation of it, along with another saga called Icelandic, which is about the Christianization of Iceland, because Iceland is the only country in the world that voted to become Christian. And it did so because it was very, it was more to do with, okay, it was 36 men, and they were all white, it was still a vote, okay? And the OpenARC, why do I have to go to the archives to do this? That's the important bit. If I can access it digitally, why do I have to go? Or if there's translations, why do I have to go? Ultimately, as many of you in the room are historians or you deal with secondary languages, translations can not necessarily be trusted instinctively. Manuscripts, the surviving manuscripts we have are copies of copies of copies. We do not have the originals. This is the only one from the 13th century. Everything else is 17th century or later, pretty much. And each different manuscript line has lacunae, it's got interpolations, it's got things that have been added to it, and I needed to know all those differences in the story so I could essentially take creative license in the adaptation and still say, I researched it, right? And I'll give you an example of that. There are 4 manuscripts that deal with the death of King Olaf Tryggvason. Okay, he's a Norwegian king. He dies in the year 1000, and in one manuscript, Historia Norwegiae, which is actually in Latin, Olaf simply disappears overboard on his ship in the middle of a fight. That's it. It's nice. We don't know what happened to him. Nice and concise. Then another one, Olaf Saga in Mesta, the saga of Olaf the Great, or the Great Saga of Olaf, is he ascends in a holy light. In the battle, in the middle of the battle, he just decides that's enough. Right? Now, being in those archives, going to read these different accounts, allow me to pick a version that would suit the ending of the novel, if that makes any sense. I could actually I could understand the nuances and subtleties and the politics behind different accounts relating to this period that I would have missed if I just read a translation. Or just read one version of it. And so this is the first novel, brilliant. OpenARC very kindly paid for me to go back last year. And again, that was for accommodation and flights. I'm very grateful for that. And my second novel, which comes out this year, deals with the civil war in Iceland. And then this year, I'm going back again, thanks to OpenARC, to the third novel, which will hopefully come out in 2 years' time. So ultimately, one of the things that OpenARC has allowed me to do is when I'm going to Háskóli Íslands, I've not just been hidden in an archive, scribbling away, making things up. I've been invited to present lectures on these manuscripts to the students there. I've been teaching creative writing to the students there in very bad Icelandic. But it's quite fun. And what's the impact of that, because we always like to talk about impact, is that many of these, when you think of medieval Scandinavia, what do you think? Vikings, maybe? First thing you pop into your head? And these accounts, which are popular, they're designed to be popular, they're designed to be accessible, people are learning and commenting blessedly in feedback if that actually they didn't realise it was quite so complicated. That there are other people there than, in fact, during the year 1000, that they would be voting to become Christian. Surely they'd just be hacking each other to death. No, it was. It's a remarkably complex culture. It's a remarkably complex history, and I'm so passionate I love it so much. I just want other people to love it. And my hope is that by translating these manuscripts and turning them, yes, into popular historical fiction, that other people will learn. And maybe at the end of all my books, I say, these are the sources I used. Go read them. Go check them out. And that's it, really, I suppose. That's just, I go to archives and I make stuff up.